Welcome back to Ox Tools. I'm Tom. So this is a Meatloaf episode 53, one after 1 year, and I just want to thank everybody again for all their support of the mixed format and kind of the Meatloaf recipe. Anyway, in this one we have some cool viewer appreciation stuff that showed up, some kind of unique stuff. We'll take a look at that. Got a wonderful mystery tool that was actually sent in by a viewer, which is kind of neat. And we'll take a look at those, and you guys can guess what those guys are. And got a new tool that I'm going to show you guys. And then I think I got a little repair job that we're going to start on. So kind of a unique repair. So let's get an apron on and or my Mitch Rosen flak vest, and we'll go over and take a look at some goodies. Okay, so this week's mystery tool comes to us from Walter Sapezi, and Walter emailed me and said he had a tool that he'd like to kick in for this week's mystery tool. And so he sent me these guys here, and they all have, so he told me what they do, and it would be non-obvious if you hadn't seen these before. So this is a pretty good mystery tool. So there's the numbers on them. You guys can look at those, and you get a look at the ends there. All right, and you know, these are obviously, you know, well-made tools made for some kind of task. And then there's the, actually this is kind of the fanciest one of the bunch here, and it has a small wheel. That wheel does not rotate. It has a little pilot on it, a little pilot diameter or cone or something. This handle is phenolic here. Looks like it. I can just see the weave in the material. It's marked GD 8004. This is JD 302, and this one's TD 1002. All right. So if you think you know what those tools are for, they all basically have the same use. Okay. So if you get one, you get them all. Kind of guess. And so if you think you know what those are, throw it up in the comments, and then I'll announce next week what those are. And Walter, thank you very much for sending those in, and much appreciated. Okay, so next one here is, this comes to us from another fellow YouTuber, James Kilroy. And if you haven't checked out his channel and subscribed to his channel, get your tails over there and check him out. I'll put a little link there for you right there. Go see James's channel. He's doing all kinds of stuff. He's got a really cool shop back in Mississippi. Anyway, it looks like James is an eBay junkie. So he buys these lots of tooling. So, you know, it's 10,000 pounds of tools so that he can get one little thing out of that lot. So he ends up with a lot of duplicates, and so he shares with some of the other folks in the YouTube community. So let's just kind of go through this. Looks like we got some reamers here. These are Macedonian reamers here, and they're undersize, half-inch undersize, 5/10 under, which is kind of nice for doing little press fits and stuff. Looks like two the same. And then we got a couple of Cobalt heavy-duty drills, and these are 1532, made in Spain. And Cobalt drills, they have a thicker web, and they're made out of a tougher high-speed tool steel that has cobalt in it. These are split point. And they're split point mainly because they have a thick web, so they have to do some web thinning there to make them perform properly. But these are always nice if you got some tough drilling to do. Some Cobalt drills, those are great. Thanks, James. And then we've got some S&D drills, and these are always handy here. These reduced shank guys, and these are 13/16. I think both the same on these, yeah. Like I said, James, he buys these lots of tools, Yeah, 13/16 times 2. And so he ends up with duplicates, and he's always been a nice guy about sharing this stuff. So if you ever need a 5/16 24 tap, get in touch with James Kilroy. I'm sure he can help you out. Anyway, James, thank you very much. Appreciate that. Okay, so the next one comes to us from a viewer. His name's Mike C Wick. Okay, and Mike contacted me. He really likes the videos and wanted to send something into the show, and just kind of as a thank you. So I said, sure, come on, send something away. So what he sent me, so he's already scoring big points because he sent food. That's always fun. Now, these are vacuum packed. There's some kind of beef jerky in there, but this is some, I can't wait to open these and see how they are. That's some buffalo sticks or something there. Look at that. You could park a forklift on that. And speaking of forklifts, that was the other thing that Mike sent. Is he sent some bearings, which are kind of neat. Let's take a look at these. And apparently, where Mike works, let's get these out of the way here. They modify a piece of equipment that they buy, and these bearings are part of that process. And these have the rounded edge to fit inside the channel. See that big radius there? And so anyway, they strip some of these off and they throw them in a box, and nobody knows what to do with them, I guess, because they don't use them in the rest of what they do. So anyway, he has a whole bunch of these, so he sent me a little handful of these just for fun. And these are cool because these have an eccentric here. So what this means is you can move the position of this roller to make an adjustment. So say you had this one on this one side and this one on the other, you could adjust this one and take up a space with these. So there's 4 of the eccentrics, 2 of the regulars, and it looks like one of these, which is slightly different. It's got a little trunnion on it, and I'm not sure what I'd use them for, but it's, you know, a nice big heavy bearing like that, who knows, right? And I'll put them with all the other bearings that I have, and you know, maybe we'll use them for something. Anyway, Mike, thank you very much for the bearings and the beef jerky. Okay. Oh, maybe this is it's a wheel chock for a forklift. So no. Anyway, thanks for the beef jerky and the bearings. Appreciate it, and glad you liked the show. Okay, so this next one is kind of a big load. I got a big box from Doug Casper, otherwise known as Occupant. That's how he goes online. Anyway, Doug contacted me and said he wanted to send something into the show for fun, and I said, sure, go ahead and send something in if you like. And so he sent me just a wonderful box full of stuff, and we'll go through some of the easy stuff real quick. So he sent a whole bunch of rags, which, okay, I don't know any shop that doesn't need good clean rags. And so we got a pile of rags, red and kind of this orange here, which is kind of neat. All right, so we got those. And then he sent, and you know, once again, this is just something that any shop can use at any time. We got some Scotch-Brite here, the old standby maroon, and then this greenish stuff here. And actually, I don't know what this is. I think they call this a medium grit. This one feels slightly finer than that. So anyway, Scotch-Brite, always useful. And then Doug, he was thinking that I might be into fishing, so he sent me a hook that he thought I could use, and he said this is a smelt hook or something like that. So he sent me a big grab hook here, and so this is a chain grab hook, and this is for 5/8 chain, which is some pretty hefty chain. And what the way this hook works is the chain links actually will lock into that groove. So that's why they call it a grab hook. So you can loop it over the chain and it locks up. So these are kind of handy. This is a pretty big one. I don't have any chain that big. So that's a brand new hook though. Anyway, he was clearing out some drawers, and he threw that in the box along with it. So maybe I'll go. The salmon are running in the river over here, so some guys are catching those recently. So maybe we'll go down there and see if we can hook us a fish or something. Anyway, Doug, thanks for that. All right, so continue on. Doug continued to load the box down. So if he figured, I guess, if he's going to send flat rate, he's gonna fill that box up. So he sent some soft jaws, and these are Kurt Weiss soft jaws, and this is a nice length, about 8 inches. It hangs over the vise, and then you can carve whatever you want in the top of those. So those are always a useful item. And then the same thing in some additional soft jaws. Now these are. This is a company I wasn't familiar with. This is Monster Jaws, and made in the U.S., which is great. And I checked out their website, and here's the link to their website right here. Go check them out because they have a lot of different configurations. They have a lot of very tall ones and very thick ones in steel as well. So if you don't feel like making these, and I'll tell you, the prices are such that you can barely buy the material for what they're asking for the vice jaws. So and you know, they come in and they're all deburred and they're fly cut and everything, and they're looking really nice. So check out Monster Jaws. That's a good find there, and I'm pleased that Doug sent me these, and I learned of a new company there. So I wasn't familiar with those guys. Anyway, so that's always good. Then he sent me some lubes to try out here, and so this is Tap Magic Extra Thick. I've used this before. It works pretty good for tapping, you know, high pressure tapping, stainless steel and materials that are kind of tougher to tap. Anyway, you can kind of see how thick that is. Now it's pretty warm today, so. But that's pretty viscous stuff there, so that's cool. Thank you. It looks like he tried it out. Well, yeah, he might have tried it out a little bit too. So then there's this stuff here, which I thought was deodorant at first, and it kind of behaves like deodorant. It's even got it smells kind of waxy. It's a stick lubricant made by. I don't know, I can't read it very well. ITW Fluid Group. So I have to say their labeling's not great. Anyway, TB stick lubricant. So this is a waxy stick lubricant that you would wipe on a tap or whatnot, so you don't have a runny material. Anyway, it's kind of like stick deodorant. Okay, and so we'll give that a try and see how that works out. So anyway, it keeps going, keeps getting better here. I'm going to save the best for last. Then he sent me some extruded hinge. Okay, and this is aluminum extruded hinge. Now, what's interesting about this is that he went ahead and engraved my name on there, and this is my blog site. It's called Nothing Too Strong Ever Broke. So if you guys haven't seen my blog, you can go check that out. And there's some of the same stuff that I'm doing with video, but it's in a written format. Anyway, so he made this cool desk sitter here that will sit, and you know, so it's kind of like a name placard, which is kind of nice. So he engraved that on his little CNC machine. So pretty cool. No cam system, he said. He just did that all G-code, which is kind of cool. Which is once again kind of non-trivial. It's a bit of code to do by hand, and or, you know, maybe he has some, you know, standardized letters as sub-programs or something like that. So that's kind of how we used to do that in the olden days. So and then it had scaling factors for those sub-programs. So I don't know. That might be how Doug's doing that. I'm not sure. Anyway, Doug, that's pretty cool. Thank you. You guys will see that in the videos because I'll put that up on the display thing. Now here's the really cool thing I thought. He sent me an Eagle 66 oil can, but it's still sealed in the bag. Now this is a 66F for the flexible spout here. And Doug said he got this when he got his apprentice toolkit. It was part of the toolkit, I guess. They gave him one of the oilers. And shame on you, Doug, for not trying these. These are really cool oilers. Adam turned me onto these, and they work really good. And it's just a nice size to have in your hand. And it's still sealed in the bag. Now the bag's got some holes in it and stuff. Now it's not totally sealed, but this thing's basically pristine. It's never had oil. Excuse me, never had oil in it. So anyway, that's kind of cool. And I don't know what vintage this is, but this tip's a little bit different here too. You can see it's got a little threaded chingus on the end of it there, where the other ones, it's just machined into the tip. And also this little plunger looks a little different to me too. So maybe they changed these over the years subtly, the design of them. But that's the first one I've seen with a threaded tip. Although maybe all the flexible ones have a threaded tip. I don't know. I don't have that many of them. I'm not like Adam. I don't have a cargo container full of these things. I only have about 5 or 6 of them. So anyway, Doug, thank you very much for the nice gifts. These are great. It's always useful stuff for the shop. Totally appreciate it, and really appreciate your generosity there. Thank you, sir. Okay, so this is the new tool I wanted to show you. Actually, I've had this one for a while. It's a couple of files, and these are made by Grobet files. And this is the one I got recently here, this coarser one. I've had this very fine one here. This is a double-aught cut or something like that, or pretty fine cut. These are called crossing files, as in crossing. And they're oval in cross-section, but you can probably see here, looking at the edge, it has two different, it's basically kind of like a half-round file, similar, but it has two different radii. So it has a flatter radii and then a more curved radii. So these are really nice for working in corners and around curves and things like that, because you have a taper in two directions. So you taper down to a tip, and then you have two different radii, so you can kind of work into corners. Let's see, I don't know if I have something that I can reach here easily. Well, let me grab something real quick. So this might be a good example here, working around something that has a variable radius. Right now the radius enlarges here, and then comes into something bigger here, like so. And actually I was using this file on this particular job here. Anyway, it's kind of a handy file because it has two radii on it and it tapers, so you can use it in different areas to work different things. Now you can see here I've been using the tip pretty hard on that one for something. I don't even remember what it was now. Anyway, these are made by Grobet. They're called crossing files. Pretty handy. They don't give them away, but it's kind of a nice file. And these are furred handles here. These nice blue plastic handles. I've really taken a liking to these type of handles. And these come in different sizes too. McMaster-Carr sells these. McMaster-Carr does not sell this file. You can get them from Grobet or Artco or somebody like that, and kind of a nice file to have around. Okay, so here's the repair job. We've got a Tonka fire and rescue, and this is kind of a cool one here. Actually, it's got an elevating ladder here, and for the gear heads out there, it's got a worm gear set up here, and I'll zoom you guys in so you can see it. And actually one viewer was asking about worm racks, and this is an example of a worm rack here, and once again I'll zoom in on that and you guys can get a look at that deal there. But the thing, it's a little bit sick. So this is for my my step grandson, and he's, I don't know, how old is he now? He's like 1 right now. So Anyway, maybe when he's a little older and he gets a hold of this thing, he'll get to see his granddad fixing his Tonka fire and rescue. Anyway, what's going on here is it has a crank here that extends this ladder. So when you're up, let me disengage the worm. So when you're up like this, okay, you can extend that ladder up, and maybe there were some characters that went up that when it was up, but you should be able to crank and retract and extend this ladder. So that's what we're going to fix. Everything else is in pretty good shape. It may be missing a little ladder for the side here. Maybe we'll make up a little wire ladder that goes on the side too. So we'll see. Oh yeah, okay, that's probably how that goes. Actually, you know what? I'll probably look up a picture and see what that thing's supposed to look like. Anyway, this thing is riveted together, which makes it kind of challenging, let's just say, to take it apart. So we'll probably have to drill those little hollow rivets out in a couple places, fillet this thing open, and see what the heck's going on in here, and figure that out. So let me get started on this. I'm gonna grab some tools and see if we can open this thing up and see what the guts of this thing looks like. Okay, so I got this separated from the fire engine here, and it's got these hollow rivets here, and to get this opened up any farther, it's got some molded kind of latch features here. To open this section up, I'm going to have to take those rivets out, and probably have to make some new ones when we go to put it back together. So let's see what we got here. Better. Now let's very gingerly So this is the classic rivet problem. It wants to rotate. Let's see if I can hold it. Kind of going. This is just kind of wearing its way through. At some point I'll be able to I got no good way to hold it. So there's 3 rivets here. We got 1, 2, and then a little itty bitty one here. And then I think I can, well, I really need to get it off of this metal bracket here. So let's see, we'll just work at it slowly here. Alright, so the rim of that rivet's really thin now. So I should be able to kind of collapse it a little bit. And it's down in a little counterboard to further complicate stuff. It's going. Okay. Huh. It's bent a little bit. Interesting. Huh. It's steel. That's kind of, well, I don't know. Is that surprising? Okay, let me work on these other two, and then we'll come back. All right, this one's being a pain in the neck. We're gonna give it. We're gonna cut a little. Little dental work there. So the idea is now I can put a screwdriver in there to kind of help hold that that rivet while I'm trying to drill it. Let's see if my my idea works there. Yep. Okay. Oh, look at that. Okay, so now it's kind of opening up. Get that out of the way there. Well, at least we can see what's going on in here now a little bit. There's some crud and wood and shit in there. That thing's still jammed. All right, so one more little rivet job there. I'll get that one out of there, and then we should have it opened up. Okay, so we got it apart. So the two most difficult things to deal with were these little hat nuts that they just knock on there. They're kind of one-way retention nuts. You see them on barbecues and tricycles and other mass-produced toys. Anyway, they're kind of difficult to get off without killing them, right? So I had to fart around with that. Obviously, the rivets were a little bit of a problem, but I managed to get those out. So I opened it all up, and it turns out what was messing it up here was there was a little pebble in there. Some kid was playing with this out in the dirt or whatever. There was some little. I got a little bit of the wood out previous, as I was messing around with it. But some more was inside, and this little pebble, and you can see this pebble was tapered, and it's got a sharp little edge on it, so it was kind of wedged in there and in this drum unit. So that's why it wouldn't turn. So anyway, this all looks kind of normal now. The other thing I was going to show you guys. So we were talking about worm gears. So this is what engages this worm gear here. As you can see, there's a worm gear. Okay, it's even got a little spring preloader unit there, which is kind of neat, and some kind of pawl on there, huh? I wonder how that works. I didn't even notice that. Anyway, there's the what engages with the rack. Okay, the worm, and it's basically gear teeth. Okay. And a guy had emailed me, and we were kind of talking about that offline, how that even works, right? Well, there it is. Okay. Now, you know, those are molded, right? But so they're not perfect. But that's generally the idea there. Okay. I think I need to make make a few things. We're gonna make some custom little rivets, or I'll measure these and see if I can use a common fastener size. Maybe we'll cheat a little bit. Anyway, there's the culprit right there. So it's a piece of asphalt gravel. It's got black on it even. So anyway, make some rivets and we'll put it back together.